The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, we're live. We're live. Thank you for tuning in. I'm trying to share this, y'all. One moment. Thank y'all for tuning in. It is a very important topic that we have today, and that is bereavement and dealing with unexpected loss. So many of the Tyesse squad has lost a loved one, mainly due to COVID, but there are other causes that have led to bereavement. And there's a right and there's a wrong way to do it. So we have to be mindful and we have to be careful. And today I'm bringing on two guests that are very dear to me, and they're going to be sharing their experience with loss and unexpected loss and bereavement and grieving 101, what to do and what not to do. I lost my mother at 19. I went about it all wrong. I lost my sister unexpectedly, Ariel, and I went about some things all wrong. And it led to some things that I'm dealing with right now to this day. So I wanted to bring them on. But before we bring our special guests on, Kwame, can you give me that graphic? You might want to share this video, y'all, because so many of y'all are dealing with this. Share this video. If you ain't shared nothing else, share this one. Okay. So Kwame, if you have that graphic, we're going to bring that up. And I just want to go over this really quickly before I bring on my guests. First of all, I'm not a grief counselor, a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. I'm Tyesse. Everything here is just, basically advice, okay? There are 5 stages of grief. Some people say 7, but these are the 5 that I'm familiar with. And they are initially shock, there's denial, anger and guilt, despair and depression, and finally you try to get to the orange stage, y'all. You got to get to that orange, and that is acceptance. As Twinkie Clark says, accept what God allows. That shock is going to be the hardest one. It's going to be the hardest one, dealing with the shock of losing somebody. And then coming in right after that, y'all, I'm going to say it's going to be the denial. And they kind of tie for number 1, denial and shock. But you can get to acceptance. I am there now with my mother and Ariel, acceptance. But there are after effects that no one really talks about that you still have to work on and work through. Okay? But there are 5 stages of grief, and you can see them there. You can write them down or screenshot this for your own personal information. Okay. So thank y'all for tuning in today. Right now, I'm going to bring on 2 people that are near and dear to me. and I want to have them talk and share their experiences. Ivan Daniels, a legendary LA promoter. He is the CEO of IDP. Um, Ivan Daniels, IDP success. Okay, so I'll let him give his own intro. But I love my brother Ivan Daniels and Sean Kinsey, who is a member of the Thai Squad and is a man of many hats and many titles. I'll let him introduce himself as well. Sean Kinsey. So let's bring them on right now. There we go. IDP success. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
IDP success. You know, mother just ate. I'm tired. Blame it on the food. Blame it on the food.
Problem.
And of course, my brother Sean Kinsey, he works with so many organizations, including the NAACP and so many local organizations in his hometown. So we love Sean Kinsey. Okay, let's start with you, Ivan. You lost your son. Now he's not your biological son, but the love is not any different. Day Day, we call him Day Day. You lost him unexpectedly this month, or was it last month? It was July, right?
Yeah, last month. Yeah.
Okay, last month it was July. So we lost Day Day last month, and it was unexpectedly a drunk driver. It was just out of nowhere. No one was expecting this. Okay, so talk to everybody about how you handled that, the surprise and the shock of that, and also how you're doing right now, dealing with that, Ivan.
Okay, so first of all, again, like Tyesse says, thank you very much for having me on. I am the CEO of Ivan Daniel Productions and IDP Success, and we are an empowerment organization meant for disenfranchised people to empower them, and then we empower them through resources, through venues like this and platforms, and help them to get to their best selves. Okay, so I can't be an advocate of that if I'm not always working on myself. Okay, number one. Okay, you got to have good self-reflection. Now, you may not know, Tyesse, but I lost my father and my little brother at 15 in a tragic car accident, much like
I remember
that just happened on Slauson and Windsor Hills in La Brea just last week. And that was triggering, okay? Plus, dating, okay? So I learned at a very early age that life is cruel, that, sometimes the people that you know and love and care about, you see them 1 minute and the next minute they're gone. And when I say that because what it taught me is to make sure that when I see people, when I interact with people, when I bring them into my heart, my circle, my everything, I make sure that I part with them in a loving way. I do my best not to create any conflict. And even if I have to take the high road on some things, they might be dead wrong. I make sure that they know that I love them from the last moment I saw them. Now, the shock of Day Day, by the grace of God, Day Day and I had like a 6-month period where we weren't talking because I was a little disappointed in some things that he had done, but he lost his mother. And I was right there. And Day Day was that son that just lived on the edge. He lived a certain lifestyle that I knew could lead to tragedy. Okay. So I was always kind of on edge with Day Day because I'd be like, Day Day, slow down, So of course you never know when you get that call. And I got that call at 3:00 in the morning and I talked to him about 8 hours before. And I'm still, I think, in shock. I really think that I did get to anger. I was in denial, but the shock still kind of keeps coming back. So, when you talk about the stages of grief, yeah, those are the initial things and they happen, boom, 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 boom. But then you go back and you kind of revisit those. And sometimes you stay in the shock denial part, and then I have accepted as well, So like when I tell you, like with my father, my little brother, and that accident happened the other day in Windsor Hills, it brought back the trauma 40 years ago. And I had to relive the pain for that family on what they did. So what I'm trying to allude to is that you never really get over it. You learn to accept it. It becomes a part of your DNA. You talk to them still. You still, remember them, pictures, mementos, and you know that they're right there in the midst of your presence somewhere, somehow. And that's the best part for me, with Day Day passing away, is that Day Day was in a lot of pain with his mother going. Day Day had lost two brothers. Day Day had just lost his mother, all of that stuff. Where I just lost my mother about 7 years ago. I'm happy for them in a way, because they don't have to deal with this world and all the challenges that those people face. They faced many challenges, and he overcome many, many things, but I'm happy, and I know that the Lord has him, and I know that he's more than likely with his mother and his grandmother and his brothers, people who was near and dear to his heart, who he grieved very, very, very intensely most of his life. His grandmother passed away probably 10 years ago. That boy still had not really gotten over it. So when his mom passed away about 3 months ago, it re-traumatized him, And so then that set him on a path to get to his goals. He was hell-bent on getting this house. And so when I talked to him, he was on cloud 9. I mean, he was on 10. He was so happy. He's like, I got my house. I want you to see it. Da-da-da. He's like, oh, I just want you to see it. And, and I said, did you do this? They got you this. Did you do this? I'm being a dad, going down the checklist. Did you get it? He goes, I got my keys. I'm going to take us some more money on Monday. I said, well, Day, enjoy yourself tonight and all of that. And Day was in a beautiful place. When my mom passed away, we had a long conversation prior to that. And my mom was in a great place. My dad and I were having an argument, and I apologized to him that morning. So when you talk about the loss, of course, I feel bad that I can't hug him and touch him and all of that. Sometimes I didn't sleep well last night because I was thinking about my grandson, because, he's 8 years old, having to deal with this world and, his parents and all of these kind of different things. And, I'm just praying for him that the Lord puts his loving arms around him and keeps him safe. But when our loved ones leave, it is just their time to go off of this earth, and it's best for us to get to acceptance as quickly as possible and love them into their next whatever phase they're in. They may not be right here in the flesh with us, but I do believe if you had love for them and they had love for you, they're always with you, and that's how I deal with it.
Wow. Beautiful, brother. Beautiful lamentations. My brother Sean, now me and Sean are very close because, Sean is a original member of the Thai squad. And, Sean lost his mother. It hasn't even been a year yet. And Sean has, maneuvered through that loss. And I'm going to let him tell his own story. But there were times when I was so worried about Sean because the loss, I could feel it through virtually. It was palpable for Sean, and I was worried. I didn't let him know I was worried, but I was worried. But I think Sean is in a better place than those initial phone calls. So I'll let Sean give his story about losing his beloved mother, at the beginning of the year. Go ahead, Sean.
All right. Thank you, Tyesse. And Ivan, wonderful, wonderful summary of grief and bereavement. I reside in Orlando, Florida. I'm a HR manager with State Farm Insurance. I've been with them many, many years. I'm involved, just like Tyesse said, in many civic organizations, political, social justice, all of that. But anyway, I am the quintessential mama's boy. My mother and I were super, 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 super close. And we did not, when you saw one, you saw the other. And, they would always ask me, where's your mom, or where's Sean, or where's Glenda? Our mother transitioned on January the 20th at 11:50 a.m. We got a call. I got a call about 6:15 a.m. in the morning. Mr. Kinsey, get to the hospital. Your mom is transitioning. I had just seen her the day before, and she was up, alert, and talking, and just full of life. And then when we get there, she had slipped into unconsciousness. So she was just there, So my sister and I were by her bedside. Let's see. I know I'm going to go back to the stages of grief. I went from shock to despair and depression. I went automatically to despair and depression. I was like, it was losing a parent is the most. Tyesse, I gotta
Take your time. Take your time.
Take your time.
It's the most devastating loss. You feel like a piece of your heart is gone.
Yes.
My consolation was to see our mom transition peacefully. She didn't fight it. It was quick. We were there almost 7 o'clock. She was gone by 11:50, and we prayed. We sung her favorite hymn. We did all of that. My sister on one side and me on the other. She's with me. I fought therapy for so long. I'm in therapy right now every other week. So Tyesse, this is right on time because I had therapy at a session last week. So this week I didn't have. So this is my therapy, is to have my testimony, share my testimony. So I get reminders. My mom, I believe in God. I'm spiritual. I am in tune with, I'm very discerning, and I belong, spiritually, I pay attention to signs around me, and my mom sends me signs. I just celebrated my birthday on last Friday, and I did not want to celebrate because it would be my first day without our mom. And my sister was like, Sean, you got to do something. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to stay in the house and do anything. So she literally had to drag me out of the house on my birthday. So leading up to that, it was a Saturday before my birthday week, I was going outside, going to the mailbox to get the mail. And I opened the door and started walking down the sidewalk, and I felt someone watching me. There was a red cardinal on the house, on top of my on the steeple of the garage. And the bird, we don't get red cardinals in the middle of summer. And we locked eyes, and as soon as I locked eyes, I said, that's Mom. I said, okay, Mom, I see you. So I walked down the driveway to the mailbox, and I got my mail and went back in. So I was like, that's a sign right there. So I saw the birds Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday leading up to my birthday. So that let me know my mom is my guardian angel. She's watching over me, because I Googled, when you see a red cardinal, that means that's someone from your loved one has passed on that's coming back to visit you. So, I get visits from my mom. And then this is the kicker. My sister had a dream about my mom that Saturday that I saw the bird, and I found out Sunday because I told her about it. She had a dream of Mom in a red dress. And Mom's favorite color was red. We buried her in a red suit.
Oh.
Wow.
So therapy has really helped me. Depression is real because I've been severely depressed. It's just to the point, not going to harm myself or anything, but I was to the point of driving and checking myself into a hospital for observation, because I thought it was some type of chemical imbalance or something like that, because it's not supposed to feel like that. I don't know. I've never experienced anything like this before. You never really can prepare for your parents to pass away or to transition, but we were prepping ourselves because our mom passed away, complications from diabetes. She was on dialysis. She had congestive heart failure, high blood pressure, all of the ailments, all of the, things that we experience in our community, in our Black community, that we are cursed with, I would say. And she fought it for as long as she could. They kept telling us about hospice. I told you about that, Tyesse. I said twice they wanted to bring hospice because she kept getting an infection in the wound and it would not heal. So she was in danger of getting sepsis, which is fatal.
Yeah.
But we kept saying, I was like, no. I said, I believe in a God that can heal. I said, we're not going to do that, because the doctors were so insensitive when they would come and say, well, like, Mr. Kinsey, I think you need to call in hospital. I said, no, do whatever you can to save our mother. You need to do whatever you can medically possible to save her. But I knew that the time was coming after we celebrated her 78th birthday in the hospital. We were able to go in there, decorate her room, put a crown on her head and all of that. And I knew that was going to be her last birthday, because she said, God told me that this was the best birthday ever. That's what she said. She said, God, she's going to have the best birthday ever. That let me know that it would not be long.
Yeah. So
a month later is when she left us, on January the 20th. So I'm dealing with it the best way I can. I tell people, get into therapy. I fought it for a long time. I fought it. If you need to take Xanax, whatever, I take it, because you need something to cope, because I don't think I'll ever get over it. I'll just learn how to cope. I have to put coping mechanisms in place so that I know how to cope, but it's still difficult, when I see things and I hear things and triggers, and, like holidays are going to be rough because our mom's birthday is on Christmas Day. So that's going to be a big one, so, but that's my.
I want to say to Sean,
yes.
A lady.
Go ahead, Ivan.
I wanted to say to you, a lady told. Yeah, I wanted to tell you that a lady told me when my mom passed away, the mother doesn't leave until the child is ready. Okay, so you're ready. You're ready. You're ready. You got to give yourself a little bit more credit. Even though this is one of the toughest things, I've lost all my immediate family's gone. But my mother was the last one, and she actually passed away on a bus trip coming back from Vegas, and she just leaned over and passed away. She had been in the hospital before she had COPD, but the lady who was her very good friend, she goes, babe, the mother doesn't leave until the child is ready. And that stuck with me, and I know that you did get a chance to say goodbye and hold her hand and watch her slip into the next area. And just, I know that you got to be grateful for that. I know you're grateful for that. And that part right there is something to hold on to. You know what I mean? That, she brought you in and you held her as she went out. You know what I'm saying? And you strong enough, a loved one, to deal with all of this and go through all these stages. And it's not going to get really easier. It's just going to calm down a little bit,
Yeah, I like to say, to Luke, what you were talking about. She was able to see us take our first breath, and we were able to see her take her last breath. So that sums it up in a nutshell. She went peacefully, and I've heard so many stories of people trying to fight transitioning. She just went peacefully and did not. There was no labored breathing. So I know our mom is resting in the arms of the Lord. So I already know that. I know that.
Well, I think, she is, Sean. I think both you and Ivan, y'all have no idea how many people you are helping right now that are watching this. Because this is something that we secretly deal with and we carry. And like I said, I was so worried about Sean, but I prayed for Sean. I didn't show him I was worried, but I prayed for him. For real prayed. Because we put the prayer hands up. It's like something we do now, right? Yeah. But how many people actually pray for people? I actually prayed for Sean because I know I was in the place where he was at, where it gets so dark, where you want to go join your mother. It don't mean you want to kill yourself, but you want to go join her because you don't feel like being here is something you want to do anymore. I was there. Okay. So let me just say this. The catalyst for this show today was the fact that I'm dealing with this situation with my aunt, and my aunt is on a ventilator, and we still haven't heard anything from my aunt that's in control of everything. I don't know if they pulled the plug on my aunt. I don't know if she's died or what. We don't know anything. I don't know anything. And when I was dealing with all of that, it came to me like this sense of peace because that's just her physical body. That's her body. Whatever happens, she's okay. So there's no need for me to tear myself up or the family to, go into a million pieces because she's okay. And the person that's controlling everything, they will have to deal with that with God on their own terms. But I'm learning how to deal with grief and loss in a whole new way, Ivan and Sean, because you can't take all of that in. As Ivan said, that stuff can really wear you out if you don't do it properly, if you don't adjust and process this stuff. It can take you to some dark places. My aunt is okay. I don't have to have a funeral. I don't have to eulogize her. I can remember her the way she was, the good times, and that's the blessing of it all. So I'm happy with the fact that I have progressed. I have progressed in my grieving one-on-one. I have. So I want to give both of you guys some parting words if you want to say anything to anybody dealing with grief, or you just want to have any closing remarks. First, let's go with Sean, and then we'll do Ivan.
All right. Thank you, Tyesse. Thank you, Kwame and Ivan. And most of all, thank you, Tyesse, for inviting me. This was right on time today because it took the place of my weekly, my bi-weekly therapy session.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So because I go every other week, so my next session will be next Tuesday. So, but I'm at the acceptance. I'm kind of like transitioning to the acceptance phase now because I didn't want to let her go. And I think that's why she's sending me signs and coming to visit me, because a lot of people don't get that. They don't get their loved one coming back to them to assure them and to just check on them. And I've had that. So I'm blessed to have that. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of death. And I know my mom is at peace and she wants me to live because she told me in a dream, she said, you need to live your life. Live your life, Sean. I've lived my life. So that's what I'm doing. I'm living my life. All right. Thank you.
Love you, brother. And it gets better. I am a witness. It gets better. It gets better. Ivan, closing remarks?
Yes. I just want to thank you, Tyesse, one more time, tell you right on time because, again, we have lost some community members that were near and dear to my heart, my community son. I also got to put a call out to some elders in the community that I know are dealing with some health challenges. So I wanted to say this, and I said this last night at an event, love the people who are in front of you, okay? Make sure that they know that you love, you care them, and the little petty squabbles and the things that we get into and stuff like that, don't allow them to grow. Because you don't know if it is going to be the last time you see that person. And then you won't have to be dealing with this residual of loss because now you also said some things, did some things where you allowed something that was not that significant because, ain't nobody got shot, no ain't got robbed, ain't nobody dead. It's okay, And last thing I'm going to say, when we look at pain, it's not the pain of actually losing somebody. It's the pain of not letting go, and letting go, and that's where the angst and the pain and the twist and the pull, the pain is there, right? But it becomes more painful and overwhelming when you don't let go. And people are on about their life, okay? They done moved on. We the ones down here got to deal with all this stuff. They're in glory. You know, the Lord says, you know, is lined with gold and myrrh and all of the things, you know what I mean? The beauty of the world once we go to the next life. And we know that your mother was a good woman. You know, I can tell just by looking at you. She's a good woman. You know, she wasn't out there doing the all the things, you know, so she's in a great place. Now, you know, your pain and angst is in just letting it go. And it doesn't mean that you didn't love her any less because you let go. Because she gonna keep showing up in that red dress, okay? She gonna keep on showing up.
Yeah.
She gonna keep on showing up, trust and believe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I love you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, brothers. Thank you so much. And I think I think we need to do a follow up in a few months. And we're gonna check in on Ivan and see how he's doing with Day Day, and we're gonna check in with Sean and see how he's doing with his beloved mother in a few months. Maybe we'll do it around the holidays because that's a rough time. So we'll do that. Thank you, Ivan Daniels, my beloved brother. And Ivan, let me say this: you've been mentoring me, and you've been saying stuff to me in our private phone calls for a long time now. And I'm getting to a place now where I'm about to let a lot of that stuff go, a lot of that energy, because I can just keep going with things. You know, our community tea, and I something you saying right now was an aha moment for me, and I got it. I don't know if it was for me.
Ain't nobody shot. Ain't nobody got robbed. You know, ain't nobody dead.
I'm gonna let a lot of this community stuff go. Just let it go. Let it go. Life is short. So we'll be back and we'll check in with Sean. I put both of their Facebook names in the chat. Ivan, you can check him out, and Sean, you can check him out on Facebook. Thank you, brothers. I love both of you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Love
yeah,
you
go
too.
to idpsuccess.com. You can get it, and we will get you some counseling. We will get you some things. You know, we have a lot of resources in community that we can, and it doesn't now that we are digital now. You know, it doesn't matter what state you're in. We'll get you some resources. Okay.
I just put it in the chat. idpsuccess.com. Love y'all.
Okay. Take it easy.
Bye, brothers.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We want to shout out our brother Kwame for giving us some extra time. And we love Kwame. He said, take what you need, mother, take what you need. So we're going to briefly. We're not going to wear our time welcome out, but we're going to briefly do In the Spirit. Kwame, give me the In the Spirit really quickly. And we're going to get up out of here. Thank you, brother. Woo. Those brothers don't know what they have done, some heavy lifting, and they're going to lift some heavy burdens on today. They don't know. They probably do know, but they're going to lift some heavy burdens, and somebody going to walk away today feeling a little lighter. Okay, so we just going to read it today. I ain't going to walk heavy. All things are lessons that God would have us learn, and the best students get the hardest tests. So when you come out of this, when you're dealing with this type of bereavement and grief and loss like I have with my mother, my best friend, my spiritual father, and countless friends, all of those things were lessons. Everything that I went through with my mother, being homeless with her, with stage 4 breast cancer, family betrayals, all of that stuff were lessons that God wanted me to learn. What was he preparing me for? God was preparing me for the Tyesse report. And the countless people that I'm blessing, the hundreds of people, thousands of people that I bless every day. That's what he was preparing me for, the Tyesse report. So I had to go through that. And to my aunt, I don't hold any ill will against her. You know, I bless her. We bless you. I want to say her name, Anita. I bless you. I pray the peace of God upon your life. I do. I don't hate you. I wish you well. But I also know this. My Aunt Ruthie is okay. Whether she's here in the body or she's gone on, she's okay. So just wanted to say that, y'all. God gives his hardest lessons to the students he know can handle it. Why did he choose Job? Why did he choose Job? Because he know Job could take it. Now, Job's wife said, why don't you just cuss God and die and get it over with? We ain't got to go through all of this. But he told his wife, it seemed like the devil's all in your eye. The devil's all in your ear. Who are you? You ain't my wife. You don't even sound like my wife. Whew. I'm just trying to do the best I can, y'all. That's all I'm trying to do. But I just know this: my mother's death almost took me out of here. But the reason it didn't take me out of here was for the reason I'm here right now, to be here for my brother Sean Kinsey, to be here for countless people that are going through this bereavement right now. I'm going to tell y'all this, and I'm going to go. You got to make sure you feel it, sit in it. You don't numb yourself by drinking and smoking a million blunts. Feel what you feel. If you don't take nothing from me. My mother died, I went into survival mode. My sister Ariel died, I shut down emotionally. Those are big mistakes, y'all. Take time. Feel it. Sit in it. Don't stay there too long. But don't numb it away. Don't think it away. Don't overwork yourself. Don't do all of that. Deal with the bereavement. Face it head on. And I promise you, as God is my witness, it gets better. I'm a survivor. I love you. I thank y'all for tuning in to Get Your Health On. I thank y'all for 100 of y'all that came by here. We know this ain't the regular keep the fire burning and scandal and all that stuff, but I think that this is really more important. This is more important than all that other stuff. So I thank y'all for showing up. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Kwame, for giving us this extra time. Remember, share this video, and I want y'all to stay in peace, not in pieces. Have a phenomenal Wednesday. We'll see you this evening. Bye.